Thinkers, my name is Miss No, and today we're going to ask the question, what are habitats?
What are habitats?
What is a habitat? What sort of things make up a habitat? Are habitats different around the globe?
Hey, Misinformation. Oh, you're talking about habitats? I know all about habitats. I have really bad habitats. Yeah, so like my worst bad habitat is that I get up in the morning and I just sort of hit my alarm like over and over again. It's such a bad habitat, Wait, habitat? I think I mean habits. What's a habitat?
So habitats and habits do sound very similar, but those are two very different things. Habitats are places where organisms live. It's their home. And an organism is a living thing like plants, animals, fungi, even bacteria. And living things are made up of cells, the building blocks of life. Now there are different types of habitats. There are terrestrial habitats or land habitats, but there's also aquatic or water habitats. A grassland, a desert, a mountain, even an urban environment are different types of habitats.
Oh, well, I get that. So really, overall, only living things make up a habitat. Animals, plants, living things.
A habitat is made up of living things, and living things are called biotic factors, like plants and animals. But there's also non-living things in habitats, which are called abiotic factors. Those include things like rocks or even sunlight and temperature. And both abiotic and biotic factors affect the habitat around them. Now, living things, abiotic things, do need certain things in their habitat to survive. Plants need water, sunlight, soil, and the right air conditions. But animals need food and water, space, even shelter.
Shelter! Okay, so I know this word because we kind of talked about it before with structure and function. People need shelters and animals need shelters, and shelters are man-made. You know what my favorite kind of shelter is? It's like a hotel, because you can get room service in that shelter, and that's my kind of shelter,
Yes, there are lots of different types of shelters, like a house. So humans get to build their own shelters, which is pretty cool. But other animals can build their shelters too. A paper wasp can construct their shelter like this right here, and it hangs from a tree. Another example of a type of shelter would be a cave system, or even a coral reef. But let's look at a tree, for example. Trees can have lots of different animals living in them and can provide animals with lots of different shelters. So for here, we have a cavity nester or a woodpecker, and it makes its home inside of a tree.
I'm gonna tell you something, if I could choose like any habitat, because the animals choose their habitats, I would totally choose like the beach habitat because, I need like palm trees swaying in the breeze. I need like a long lawn chair above the sand so I don't get sandy. And I need lots of suntan lotion and someone fanning me. That would be great. So that's the habitat I choose since animals choose their own habitats.
It sounds like the habitat that you're describing, Misinformation, is the tropical habitat. So the tropical habitat is found closest to the equator, but there's actually 4 different types of habitat zones. If we start at the tropics by the equator and move our way up towards the poles, we're going to go in different zones. So starting at the tropics, the next zone would be called the subtropics. Then we're going to have our temperate zone, and then we're going to have our polar or subpolar regions closest to the North and South Pole. Now, different animals and plants are adapted to live in different habitats. Adaptation means that they're better able to survive. Their internal and external structures help them survive in those habitats. A clownfish, for example, wouldn't be adapted to live in the mountaintops. Clownfish are adapted to live in the coral reefs with their fins and their gills. A spider monkey is adapted to live high in the trees. They have long fingers for swinging. A camel is adapted to live in the desert, and they even have extra fat storage, like in their humps, so they have more energy and they can go longer periods without water.
Look what I have. So, say something, Miss Snow. I know something. See this bearded dragon right here? This is Sunny. And you know what Sunny has done? He has adapted to living in a desert habitat. Why? Well, first of all, look at his color, right? What does the color do? From what I learned from you, Miss Snow, is that it's probably for camouflage. And his skin is dry and scaly because he lives in a dry habitat. I do know something. We're so glad you joined us here for this video about habitats. And so Sunny and I and Miss Snow, who knows so much, thank goodness, want you to subscribe and like our channel. And next time we'll see you here at The Living Think.